I just drove up the East Coast 1,000 miles, visited several different states, AA meetings in three of them, from New York old timers to quiet beginner rooms. I realized that no matter where I go, I'm just a pickle in a church basement. Welcome to the Great Migration. Hey, I'm John. I'm an alcoholic, and I'm a dad going through a divorce, and I'm doing fish out of water. It's been a couple days since I posted anything, so we made the Great Migration north. It was good, bad, and ugly, kind of all wrapped into everything. The good part, joined some meetings that were interesting. So I went to meetings in three different states, Pennsylvania, New York, and one in New Hampshire. It was kind of cool. Drove through the town that Bill Wilson grew up in. I didn't stop at the house because he's in I think it's East or West Dorset in Vermont. I didn't want to go to the house after only being sober for like 4 months. Truthfully, I thought that was kind of ridiculous. I'm liking the program. Everything I'm doing, I think, is working right now. But that just seems like something that you earn, not just you go do. So I didn't. The bad, traffic. It sucks. It's triggering. People cutting you off and all that kind of stuff. And like camping, actually. It was the first time I've been camping since I've been sober. And you know what you do around a fire is you drink a beer. So there was like a sense of like loss or mourning of that maybe. But one thing I did find is I went fishing one day, and I noticed even at the rehab I was at, there was a fishing pond. And truthfully, like I could only fish for a couple minutes and then I lose interest. And I love to fish, but I was struggling, especially at the time, to really be alone with myself. And handling that. And I went fishing with a bobber and a worm, which is how I always fish with Maren. It's how she caught her first fish that she calls the fighter fish, which is a kind of boring way to fish. I like to throw a lure or a worm or something and catch a fish, but I was able to sit there in my thoughts and just kind of enjoy the time. Caught some fish. No one else around me caught fish, and no one ever said I was a competitive person. That's a lie. And it was good. And I went to a couple different types of meetings. One was in a small town, a couple guys, open share, real kind of community feeling. Another one was a really big one, a lot of old timers, and something about that New York spirit. They're a gruff bunch. But it was a good meeting, interesting, lots of opinions in that meeting about how a meeting should be run. It was kind of funny, how, the origin or kind of the birthplace of AA is where they argue the most about how it should be done. It's something I've always found interesting. And then went to a beginner's meeting, which is, they're good and bad. It's nice to be around people in early recovery because it reminds you where you're at, but then they're also quiet meetings, and they tend to have less of that like strength and hope to them, and it's more like, fuck, this sucks. Which is, it's always nice to see the old timers that are at the meetings raising their hands to become sponsors. So it was a good experience. And I'm glad to be back, but I will say each one of those meetings, felt like a pickle out of water, to be sure. They're new places, new people, but, the difference between that meeting and the first one I went to right out of my rehab facility is night and day. I was scared and nervous the first one I went to, and I raised my hand and asked everyone who I was, and or told everyone who I was, and this one, looked like a real alcoholic. I had my coffee mug with me and walked in and shook a couple hands and talked to some people, and showed up about 10 minutes early, as I try to do now, because you get to know people, and it feels like a community. And the cool thing about the meeting is it was they call it a tri-step meeting, so the first 3 steps, but we also today was the first tradition, which is you need the group and the unity. It's not the individual that gets things done. And, I very much felt that way through the entire trip and journey. I had a nice place. I had a church basement to hang out in every state or town that I wanted to, and people that understood me. And, I felt like a pickle in a church basement, that's for sure. So hope you enjoyed this, and looking forward to getting some more stuff out here more consistently.